Chapter 51 Instinct. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A blood-red moon hung heavy in the sky, a phantom in this unreal world. Below, two colossal statues stood like figures ripped from ancient myths, the Nine-Tails, a millennia-old terror to the ninja world, and Susanoo, a wild god of legendary power. Do your damnedest to impress me, Uchiha Kagami. A flash of blue, the earth cracked open. A massive chasm now separated the two titans. Uchiha Jing was silent, his gaze icy as he clasped his hands. Black and crimson raindrops began to fall. Pride, hatred, sorrow, disgust, lust, a storm of negativity filled the air, enough to warp the mind of anyone caught within it. There was no yang release, instead, pure yin release particles gathered before the dark Nine-Tails, forming a massive ball of energy. Crack star, the sheer pressure forced the giant beast to sink under its weight. Just a yin release tailed beast bomb. Impressive that you can even shape something like that. To be precise, it's a yin release Rasengan. Uchiha Jing smirked. Though, maybe spiral cannon would be more fitting. Inside Susanoo, Uchiha Madara crossed his arms, exuding an air of absolute dominance. Ready yourself. His black hair danced wildly as he recalled his battles with Hashirama. You never really know the value of a moment until it's just a memory, and regrets don't just fade away. Hashirama, if only back then, no. Then, in a flash, Susanoo gripped its long sword, slashing at the air as if severing something invisible. Not bad, Madara laughed, leaning forward. So, that's when your attack started. That huge black energy ball wasn't the real attack at all. These black and red raindrops were. Illusion is a battle of wills. When pupil powers are equal, the first one to crack loses, and regret is the most devastating emotion of all. Gotcha. Uchiha Jing grinned, unconcerned that his strategy had been exposed. Distracting me, while accumulating murderous intent in some unexpected place. Madara's voice was tinged with surprise. This feels a lot like a senju tactic. You mean Tobirama Senju? I'm quite fond of his approach to combat. Madara's expression darkened. Kagami, it seems you'll never be another Hashirama. Enough. What the hell are you talking about? Uchiha Kagami pointed his sword at Madara, his three-tomo Sharingan burning with animosity. I couldn't beat you in the past, but I won't let you dwell on it now. Madara, I came here to kill you. If you want to live, you'll have to kill me with the same conviction. Ha 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 ha. Whoosh, star, before Madara could finish his laugh, Jing launched his attack. Morals be damned, the energy cannon from the dark nine-tailed fox's maw shot out, but instead of exploding, it spread wide. It wrapped around Susanoo, forming a dark barrier. Madara frowned. Dark release. You, an Uchiha, learn this to counter eye technique users. You've lost your mind. Little devil, you're starting to annoy me. This illusion was originally designed to target Uchiha. It wasn't just a dark space, it used special chakra to mess with the enemy's brain, scrambling the information from their eyes, making it impossible to form a clear picture. The interference wasn't just visual. It could seriously mess with your head, especially with that creepy muttering thing this guy had going on. Was it because of that cursed crap? Madara suddenly realized this kid was really good at mind games. Bang, star, the dark nine-tailed fox's claws raked Susanoo, leaving deep gouges. Dark walking technique. Within this zone, only the user can see. Madara stumbled, and then Susanoo was slammed hard in the side. Blind them, then engage in close combat. You underestimate me, I'll break this pathetic darkness in no time. In the dark, the two giants fought. Susanoo's blades severing tails that transformed into giant pythons, wrapping around Susanoo, constricting its movements. Even after being cut to pieces, they could reform. Madara slashed dozens of times before finally destroying one of the pythons. Slightly bored, stab star, giant hands tore the dark barrier open like ripping a canvas. Uchiha Madara regained his vision, staring at the tailless black fox. No more tricks. Where'd he go? The darkness might have stolen his sight, but Madara could sense that Uchiha Kagami had been on top of that beast just a second ago. Then he realized it. Above. The blood moon illuminated the scene. Uchiha Jing held the reins, piloting a chariot diving down from above. Behind him, an army of countless black skeletons followed. This is getting tedious. Uchiha Madara lost interest and swung his Susanoo blade. The azure light lit up all of space and time. In one strike, countless skeletons and chariots were obliterated. Overwhelming pupil power. Crack, black and red lightning exploded across the sky. Boom, the immense pressure felt like it could crush the earth. This is. Finally willing to use it, are you? Uchiha Madara's excitement surged, his blood boiling. I'm very interested in a technique that can break dust release. Blue flames engulfed Susanoo, pushing its immense form even further. Swish, star. A pair of massive wings unfurled. Susanoo. Complete body. Stab. Black lightning surged from Naruto and Sodi no Shirayuki, crackling before Uchiha Kagami. His black hair danced wildly, his scarlet eyes blazing with intensity through the blades. Inside a cage, Sukuna raised his hand, black and red lightning flickering at his fingertips. He was the strongest there was. What held him back was the world itself. The reason he was special grade was because that was the highest rank they had. Since coming to this world, his cursed energy had grown stronger every second. The ninja world. What a twisted place, so much negative energy. Do gods really exist? Did you exile me here for tearing the world apart? Or were you afraid of me, so you bound me in this cage? No matter. Kagami, I told you, we are two sides of the same coin. You can learn my techniques, and I am inside you. You know, humans know how to stand when they're born, birds know how to fly, fish know how to swim. That's called instinct. You said I don't have any human instincts. You're right, because I was born to devour humans. That's my instinct. We were never the same. The sealed door creaked open, and Uchiha Jing absorbed the cursed energy from the sea of corpses and blood. Sukuna grinned. Too calculated. In thousands of years, I've never seen a human as insane as you. You treat me like a wild animal, trying to tame me step by step. He brought his 5 fingers together, the sharp nails like blades. Then try it. Uchiha Kagami. The two-faced, four-armed demon roared ferociously, the giant mouth on his stomach chanted a spell. Dragon scale. Reverse. Pair of shooting stars. Dismantle, black flash, powerful enough to tear through space, crackling with black lightning. The ultimate, unparalleled slash of Sukuna's existence. With the cursed king's endless malice, he slashed at the cage that held him. At the same moment, Uchiha Kagami's face was blank as he swung his 2 swords, rumble. *2 crescent blades of thunder flashed, like the guillotine of judgment falling from the heavens. Dismantle, black flash, endless azure light bloomed from the blood-red earth. Susanoo, the power of a god, they say, if you see it once, you die. Everything in the universe, shattered by a single strike. Light consumed the world. Chapter 52:1 Everything is as planned. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It sounded like a giant mirror shattering with a loud, messy crash. The illusionary world couldn't withstand the immense force and broke apart. Back to reality, the twin swords and sickle blades froze in midair, the wrinkles smoothed out on Madara Uchiha's aged face. Your eye power alone surpasses even Izuna's. Kagami. You're a true prodigy. He moved like a phantom, instantly appearing before Kagami Uchiha, his death scythe gleaming. Swoosh star. The sickle halted abruptly, inches from Kagami Uchiha's neck. Madara frowned slightly. The ultimate eye power clash hadn't produced a victor. The illusion he'd created shattered before it could. Yet, Kagami Uchiha remained still, eyes tightly shut, unresponsive to the attack. Is he pulling some new stunt? Madara hesitated, not out of fear of Kagami Uchiha's trickery. He was worried about accidentally killing him with a single blow. Changing his mind, Madara pushed the sickle forward, carefully avoiding any vital points, aiming for Kagami Uchiha's face. I'm on my last legs. It'd be a waste if you died now. When I'm resurrected, I'll show you the true power of the Uchiha ancestors. Madara Uchiha's pupils constricted, his brow furrowing, he saw a mouth open and bite the sickle blade. A mouth had sprouted on Kagami Uchiha's cheek. His Dadanai had appeared beneath the Sharingan on his left eye, utterly malevolent and cold. Are you the evil entity from the mirror? Madara Uchiha yanked back the sickle, pulling on its chain. What an ignorant whelp. An ethereal chain, faintly glowing purple, unfurled from Madara Uchiha's palm. Let me put a leash on you. It's exactly the same. Hold on. I'll chop you into bits, you old fossil. The voice from the mouth was raspy, as if gnawing on something. Boom. A sudden burst of blood-red pressure created visible shock waves. More and more black lines emerged, covering Kagami Uchiha's body. This is the taste of the ninja world. A new world. The scent of a new human. It's glorious. Give me your body. Kid. An indescribably evil aura spread like smoke. This malice was even purer than the nine-tailed foxes. The purple chains dissipated, and Madara Uchiha leaned back, a stone throne materializing beneath him. Kagami, since you dared to etch such an evil thing, then you try and tame it yourself. You are an Uchiha. The black and red energy spread like a flood. But no matter how Sukuna roared and screamed, the young man remained still. Inside his mind, the crimson-sealed gate creaked open. Sukuna's upper body forced its way out, and an endless torrent of corpses, blood, and bones poured from the seal. On the other side, Kagami Uchiha stood in the sea of blood, regarding Sukuna with cold eyes. It hurt, like putting your soul into a meat grinder, grinding it down, then throwing it into a furnace, forging it, slicing it. Endless torment, millennium of concentrated malice, a raging sea. Anger, regret, resentment. Negative emotions washed over Kagami Uchiha's spirit again and again. Hands reached out from the sea of blood, grabbing Kagami Uchiha, trying to drag him down with them. Sukuna's memories flooded his mind. Ugly humans endlessly repeat the cycle of love and loss, greed, anger, ignorance, failing to get what they want, and meeting with hate and resentment over and over. It's boring. But the flavor isn't bad. Kagami Uchiha, we are one. Sukuna spread his 4 arms wide, as if offering a hug. This isn't swallowing, but fusion. You become me, and I become you. We come from different times and spaces. What an incredible destiny. Come on, let's become the most perfect existence. Breathing was agony. It felt like his lungs were exploding, his feet felt like lead, his bones were breaking, his heart, something was gnawing at it. It didn't matter. No matter how much it hurt, the hole in his heart had been filled. He'd had too many expectations. He wouldn't lose. Kagami Uchiha reached out his hand. You know what, Sukuna? This seal not only binds you but also binds me. I realized long ago that with my current strength, I couldn't fully break it. Haven't you noticed that you're me, even Madara? All of our power is being poured into the seal. I told you that sooner or later, I would put you on a leash. You didn't break the seal. We cut it open. I'm telling you this to explain. Kagami Uchiha smirked, slowly raising his hand. Everything is going according to my plan. Steady progress is my motto. Click, thump star. Sukuna seemed to sense something and looked up. A deafening thud echoed in the dark void as a black spear materialized. Upon closer inspection, the black mass was made up of countless seal characters. Kagami Uchiha's palm fell, and the black spear followed suit. The black spear pierced Sukuna's chest, pinning him between the two worlds. Silence, a moment of silence. Sukuna burst into laughter, as if he'd experienced the greatest joy of his life. How amusing. Fascinating. Kagami Uchiha. Because of you, I've become interested in humans. You will eventually release me. I'm beginning to look forward to savoring your body. You're right. To enjoy fine cuisine, you must proceed step by step and taste it bit by bit. The sea of blood and corpses flowed back towards the sealed gate. Kagami Uchiha turned around, then he stopped suddenly, glancing back. the crimson in his eyes burned even brighter, filled with nothing but contempt for the so-called king of curses. Just wait. I'll put on the chains you expect. Chapter 53. We will meet again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Looking at Madara, who was chilling in the stone chair, Kagami Uchiha ran a hand through his hair. You washed up, old man. Can't even throw hands anymore. Madara, hands on his knees, looked like any other geezer. There's no point. You got what you wanted, right? Plus, this body's about to give out. Something clicked in Kagami's head. Logically, Madara couldn't split from the demonic statue of the outer path, it was keeping him alive. He hadn't really thought about it before. Kagami had just figured Madara being able to come out and fight wasn't that weird, maybe it was some kind of would-release clone, but if that's what he was saying. The heck? The art of infinite resurrection, can he even do that without the Rinnegan? Kagami narrowed his eyes, feeling played. Some clone jutsu or something? You really think I'm that dumb? Madara, stone-faced, said, my real body's stuck. But this technique can carry all my eye power. How lame. This is the best I can do right now. Madara's features started to fade, revealing pale skin. He was turning into a white zetsu, with a soft rustling sound. A white figure with pale green hair crawled out of the cracks in the rock. Kagami, Madara wants to see you. Yeah, hang on. Kagami unrolled a scroll and walked over to the dying white zetsu. This is Madara's research. How could you? He didn't say no. He's dead anyway, what's wrong with me taking it back as a souvenir? But. Shut it. Madara's real body was buried right beneath them. The massive underground space was dark and damp, lit only by candles. Seriously, what old dude hangs out in a place like this? No wonder he's got the aches and pains. On the plain stone chair, Madara slowly opened his eyes, revealing a pair of dark red Sharingan. You're here, Kagami. Kagami glanced behind Madara and saw several dead tree-like tentacles reaching into the darkness. The vibe there was seriously messed up. A heretic demon. Kagami looked back at Madara. You wanted to see me. Madara chuckled. You're the one who wanted to see me. Oh yeah. After I helped you tame that monster, this is the thanks I get. Kagami found a chair, sat down, crossed his legs, and said calmly, so, I'm being polite and asking what's up. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bothered coming down here. Master Madara, your retirement home needs some serious upgrades. Kagami, you're sharp. You've noticed the difference in the white zetsu, haven't you? Meaning the body I borrowed. Kagami knew the deal, but wasn't about to spill all the beans. Black zetsu was probably freeloading in Madara's body. A potent yang release aura. Interesting research material. Madara leaned on a black staff and said in a low voice, Sharingan is the pinnacle of yang release, the symbol of the Uchiha. The thing that represents yang release is the Senju's would release. If you want to protect your friends and get endless eye power, there's a way. And I'm about to lay it on ya. Talent and strength weren't enough to impress Madara. What really got his attention was Kagami's words. Only after Chuenai was gone for good did the old man realize in this dark, underground palace, maybe there was a way that didn't involve sacrificing the people you cared about. White zetsu is the result of my research on Hashirama's cells. It's packed with life energy, yang release. That white zetsu was especially for you. You can transplant some of it into your body. If I unlock the Mangekyo again after that, it should heal my eyes, and I won't go blind. It's not a curse. Kagami's face was blank. Yin can't grow alone, yang can't be born alone, and when yin and yang split, essence and energy are destroyed. The yin and yang in the human body depend on each other, balance each other, and keep the gears turning. Overusing the Mangekyo leads to blindness because the yin and yang are out of whack. There are two ways to fix blindness. One is to balance yin and yang. The other is fusing two Mangekyo Sharingan with similar blood. When there's too much yin, there needs to be yang. When there's too much yang, there needs to be yin. Things max out and flip, yin turns into yang. In the shadows, Madara's expression was hidden, he just sighed. Kagami, you're too late. If Madara regretted anything, it was one thing, he failed to protect Izuna. Shursui, that's your brother's name, right? You're way better at being a brother than I ever was. Even Madara hadn't understood that deep a truth until he saw the Sage of Six Paths stone tablet, but Kagami, snapping out of it, Madara looked at Kagami. So, you want to build up the ultimate yin release, and when things hit their peak, reverse it to get eternal eye power. Kagami shook his head. Yes and no. I have my own plans. Either way, yin and yang in balance is the sweet spot. Kagami, maybe you can, get eyes like mine. I mean, the Rinnegan, I don't know how you'll pull it off, but I'm here for it, After a beat, Madara decided to skip the Eye of the Moon plan. The Sage of Six Paths' perfect idea to create a peaceful ninja world wasn't going to jive with Kagami. He hadn't given up on this world yet, and he sure didn't seem like a peace-loving kind of guy. I won't pry into your plans. If you need it, come back and grab another white Zetsu. By Ju's body. Obito Uchiha is the one I've picked. I'll set up a test for him. He's got the potential to unlock the Mangekyo. He just needs a nudge. A Konoha ninja is gonna die because of it, so stay out of my way. This was a deal, Kakashi, Rin, Kagami chuckled. Whatever. What if, your teammate Kakashi bites the dust? Apart from some Uchiha clan members, I don't give a crap about anyone else's life or death. My job isn't to protect them. I already warned Kakashi. If he dies, 'cause he's too weak, then he had it coming. Kagami stood up. Old man, I doubt we'll cross paths again. Then I hope you go in your sleep. See ya. With that, Kagami turned and left. He really hated this dark, dank place. Ah. Watching Kagami walk away, Madara muttered to himself. We'll meet again. Chapter 54. Today is my day to get rich. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Deep within the woods, we transition from the rain country into the bird country. Since Obito hadn't been dealt with yet, neither had Nagato. Hanzo still held power in the rain country, making our entry relatively smooth. Uchiha Jing leaned back against a massive orange tabby. Despite its size, the cat moved nimbly through the dense undergrowth. Even giant eagles need their rest. When it's his turn to fly, Uchiha Kagami will summon his own creature, an 800-pound orange tabby named Revolver. Uchiha Kagami wasn't looking for combat power. He just wanted a comfortable, speedy ride. Sometimes, he could just stretch out and nap on its back. Sunlight filtered through the canopy, dappling his face and illuminating the book in his hands. The battle against Uchiha Madara had achieved all his objectives. He'd used Madara's power to crack open the sealed door. Uchiha Jing essentially forged a key and kept it for himself. Soon, Sukuna would be unleashed. Secondly, he'd managed to transcribe and seal away a portion of Uchiha Madara's eye power within his spiritual space. Uchiha Jing wasn't short on spiritual energy, but Madara's eye power made irresistible bait for a certain red-orange fox. It was a trap waiting to be sprung. Thirdly, White Zetsu was a focus. Initially, he considered using White Zetsu's yang release cells to balance his pupil power, but that was no longer an option. Both Sukuna's power and his own yin release energy were growing too rapidly. Sukuna was like a deadly bloom, thriving in the ninja world's bloody soil. With Uchiha Kagami's current eye power, even evolving to the Mangekyo stage wouldn't be enough for White Zetsu to create balance. Besides, Uchiha Jing felt uneasy adding extraneous elements to himself, like the two paths he presented to Madara, continuing to cultivate pupil power. Uchiha Jing was confident that his Mangekyo was worth two of anyone else's, that extreme yin could produce yang. But, that was imperfect evolution. It fell short of Uchiha Jing's perfect vision. The real solution was to rewind to the beginning and convert that massive yin release into yang release. Reversal technique. Channeling chakra to perform Black Flash was far harder than using cursed energy. Reversing chakra involved far more intricate problems. Comparing difficulty, it's like the difference between basic algebra and advanced calculus. No need to get bogged down, just know it was a pain. To solve it, Uchiha Kagami and Sukuna needed a serious discussion and collaborative research, likely. Not, Uchiha Kagami would never ask Sukuna for advice. It wasn't arrogance, it was mistrust. Uchiha Jing had reminded himself of this from the beginning. Likewise, Uchiha Kagami wouldn't consult with Orochimaru or anyone similar, he trusted only himself and his ability to solve the problem. Now, he was moving on to the next pivotal point in his plan. Deep in the desert lay the ancient kingdom of Lolan's dragon vein. The Earth's life force, a massive concentration of energy. Once he gathered all the key elements, he could execute his perfect Mangekyo plan. What's the use of white Zetsu, you ask? Jing didn't need it, but his little brother, Shui, did. So touching, Master Jing, Granny Cat wanted me to ask when you'll settle the final payment for those ninja tools. Revolver's voice was surprisingly sharp for such a fat cat. Snap, closing his book, Uchiha Jing said calmly, too expensive. 30% higher than before. Tell her to cut the price. But Granny Cat says there's fighting everywhere now, and she's giving the Uchiha clan priority. Ninja tools are scarce, so the price is already reasonable. Meow. We Uchiha have been doing business with her for generations. How can she just raise prices because of a shortage? You're actually pleading for her. Revolver, are you my spirit animal, or that old woman's? Of course, it's you, but, no buts. Tell her I'll pay the original price, take it or leave it. Okay, Revolver plodded forward, dejected. He was just asking, just delivering a message. Master Jing was so harsh. Suddenly, Revolver felt something lift the flesh on the back of his neck, and the whole cat rose into the air. What's going on? Is Lord Jing going to hit me again? No, that shouldn't be the case. Although Lord Jing is very fierce, he has never hit me. Meow. Uchiha Jing stood on a massive tree branch, dangling the 800-pound fat cat in his hand. Revolver craned his neck, his dark eyes filled with confusion and a touch of fear. Stupid cat, you almost walked right into a minefield. Thump, 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 a figure emerged from behind a tree as expected of Scarlet Eyes, with a 90 million tail bounty on your head. Looks like traps don't work on you. Pale green eyes, Takigake forehead protector, wearing a mask, it was Kakuzu. Uchiha Jing tossed Revolver aside, the fat cat draping over a branch like a thick blanket. Bounty hunter Kakuzu. What a coincidence. But, only worth 2.5 asumas, that bounty was a bit low. Yeah, didn't expect to run into you while chasing down some 2 million tail scrub in this backwater. Black tentacles extended from Kakuzu's sleeves, writhing ominously. Seeing that forehead protector reminds me of the Konoha ninja we battled back in the day. The first Hokage, Senju Hashirama. Uchiha Jing picked at his ear. I just fought Uchiha Madara a few days ago. Kid, are you yanking my chain? Uchiha Jing smirked. You started the tall tales. I'm just telling the truth. Enough. Kakuzu's eyes narrowed. Konoha's strongest prodigy is traveling solo. Then I'll just claim that 90 million myself. 3 minutes later, Uchiha Kagami had Kakuzu by the throat, pinning him to the ground. Kakuzu clawed at his forearms, but it was like an ant trying to move a mountain. Scattered black tendrils twitched nearby. 3 Tomo spun in Kagami's eyes. Tell me, where's your stash? It just so happened the Uchiha clan was running a little dry on funds these days. Running into a payday like this was luck. Kill me if you dare. I'll never tell you. Good, plenty of spirit. Uchiha Kagami's eyes gleamed dangerously. For a ninja, dying is easy. Staying alive is the hard part. You won't get off that easy. 3 black Tomo appeared in Kakuzu's pale green eyes, and the hand Uchiha Kagami was holding dropped down. Uchiha Kagami pulled a length of rope from his sleeve and looped it around Kakuzu's neck. A ninja should always carry a rope, it makes sense. Fat. Revolver, start walking. Master Jing, you almost called me fat cat again. One end of the rope was tied to Revolver's tail, causing his hindquarters to bounce as he walked along the ground. Uchiha Kagami didn't even flinch. No, you misheard. Chapter 55 Red Sand. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Above the endless desert, his knuckles were raw, skin rubbed away to blood and sand, there wasn't a good patch of flesh left. Uchiha Jing sighed, a look of admiration on his face. You're exactly what I'd expect from a ninja who's been around since the first Hokage. Your will is truly unbreakable, Kakuzu gasped, a sneer twisting his lips. You can kill me, but don't touch my money. You think I'd crack from a little torture, some parlor trick illusions? Uchiha Jing nodded, serious. I get you. A guy like you shouldn't die out here. Go on, get outta here. Kakuzu's expression flickered. He stared at Uchiha Kagami with those pale green eyes. Uchiha Kagami, I gotta admit, you've got the same fire in your belly as the first Hokage. Humph, work on racking up that bounty, and I'll come looking for you again. Kakuzu snapped the ropes and spun around, heading off. He figured a strong guy who could dust him that easily wouldn't go back on his word. Uchiha Kagami, you're stronger now, but what about 50 years from now? Hold up. Watching Kakuzu leave, Uchiha Kagami pulled a bank book from inside his jacket. Password 6742s, then the ninja symbol 4, Taki. Got it? Take it to the old lady, have her pull the money out ASAP. That covers the tab for the last batch of ninja tools, plus the Uchiha's annual ninja tool expenses. Revolver took the book, a little choked up. He'd heard the green-eyed guy rattle off the amount in the account. Whoa, bounty hunting pays bank. Kakuzu was a walking gold mine. No way Uchiha Kagami was gonna kill the goose that laid the golden eggs. Once he tried to get a new bank book and found out he was cleaned out, he'd work twice as hard to fill that hole in his heart. Next time around, they'd cash in again. If it was the Uchiha Kagami who'd just started out, dealing with Kakuzu would be a real slog. With his current strength and the intel he had on Kakuzu, fighting for 3 minutes was already an act of charity, but the guy wasn't a total loss. He'd been under the illusion so long he blurted out the password without even realizing it. Time for a little spirit journey. I'm heading back to the Catlands. See ya, Master Jing. Meowed up with a poof, revolver vanished. Uchiha Jing wandered off into the desert. They weren't far from the ancient kingdom of Lulan, according to the map. Too bad the map was about as accurate as a dart thrown blindfolded. He pressed his fingers into the sand, chakra sense expanding. Without Minato Namikaze's natural gift for perception, he had to crank up his chakra to make up for the range. Closing his eyes, the general layout of the surrounding 6 miles imprinted on his mind. Nothing. The land of wind was a real dead zone. No wonder they always wanted a fight. Guys with nothing to lose always swung the hardest. That's why Konoha wanted peace. The first Hokage went on about equality, but the land of fire wound up with the best real estate in the ninja world. Once he kicked the bucket, it'd be a miracle if the other ninja villages didn't try to shake things up. Later that day, Uchiha Kagami's eyebrows shot up. He detected a unique chakra source. It was different from regular ninjas, almost like it was missing some juice. He took off in the direction he sensed it, spotting a hint of orange in the desert in the distance. As he got closer, the other guy saw Uchiha Jing, immediately going into a defensive stance. Uchiha Jing stopped short, a few dozen yards away, a corner of his mouth quirked in a smile. Small world, huh? Or do you rogue ninja just like to hang out in the boonies? Scorpion. Uchiha Kagami. Scorpion's face darkened. Chakra thread snaked out, ready to summon the third Kazekage puppet at a moment's notice. One guy's name could cast a long shadow. Sure, he was an S-rank rogue ninja, but compared to Uchiha Kagami, who was out there stirring up trouble between whole countries, influencing entire wars, he was small potatoes. Aren't you playing hide-and-seek with Hitaki Tsukumo? What brings you out here? Uchiha Jing wasn't in a hurry to throw down. He'd been fighting too much lately. Besides, fighting a guy who knew you inside and out would be over too fast. No fun in that. Scorpion's eyes narrowed. The land of wind is my home. It's not surprising I'm here. But you, shouldn't you be on the border? Uchiha Jing paused, thought it over, and smiled. I see. You're looking for the ancient kingdom of Lulan, aren't you? Hitaki Tsukumo wrecked all your puppets, so you needed to find a place to restock. Damn it, am I under an illusion? No way. I don't use my eyes to get intel. I'm a human puppet. How could I get caught in an illusion? Did I just let something slip? I didn't give anything away. How could he know? Bang, the third wind shadow puppet hung in the air, Scorpion's face like ice. Red eyes, guess we'll see if you're worthy of the name, is sip. Uchiha Kagami flicked his fingers, an invisible cut ripping through the air, severing the chakra line controlling the third Kazekage puppet. As the puppet crashed to the ground, Scorpion was about to reattach the thread when Uchiha Kagami spoke. Your core's in the left atrium. Chop that up and you're toast. Point 3 Tomo spun in the crimson eye sockets. Uchiha Jing's voice was cold, empty. There's nothing about you these eyes can't see through. Hataki Tsukumo spared you, don't expect the same from me. Crushing you would be too easy. I'm not interested. Swish, Uchiha Kagami was instantly at Scorpion's side, a hand clamped on his shoulder, even if he's just a puppet, even if human emotion has faded to almost nothing, Scorpion still felt a bone-deep chill, his core clutched in a death grip. The words reached his ears. I'm heading to the ancient kingdom of Lulan myself. Maybe I can give you a few puppets I don't care for. Why don't you come along? Help me kill some time. Think about it. If you refuse, you've got 3 seconds left to live. Okay. Following you, maybe I can discover new artistry. Patting Scorpion's shoulder, Uchiha Kagami chuckled. You're surprisingly reasonable. Let's get along, Scorpion of the Red Sand. In the empty desert, 2 figures walked, one behind the other. The desert sandstorm was brutal, but Scorpion was a puppet and didn't feel a thing. He watched Uchiha Jing carefully, noticing the wind and sand didn't even touch his body. When they were about to, they just fell to the ground, just to keep out the wind and sand. He's maintaining a chakra shield all the time. What a monster. Scorpion, who had assassinated the third Kazekage, stared at the figure walking at a leisurely pace and couldn't even entertain the thought of stabbing him in the back. After who knows how long, Uchiha Jing stopped, placing his palm on the ground. The corner of his mouth twitched. Found it. Chapter 56 Witness the World. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lulan, this ancient city, nestled in the Kingdom of Wind's vast desert, is pretty cut off from the rest of the world. Its tall towers and architecture are way different from anything you'd see anywhere else. It's a pretty weird sight to see a city like this out in the middle of nowhere, way too urban. The queen of ancient Lulan has this magical ability to control dragon veins. Like she can tap into the earth's energy that's buried deep underground. Scorpion stared at the city, pulled out an old scroll, and unrolled it, saying in a low voice, looks like the royal line has gone against what they were supposed to do. Jing turned to him. You know something I don't. Spill it. Scorpion paused, then said, my dad was from Lulan's royal family. Hold up. Aren't you Chiyo's grandson? Wouldn't that make your dad the first Kazekage's son? Scorpion glanced up at Jing. My dad had red hair. The first Kazekage and Chiyo had black and purple hair, respectively. Chiyo's kid is my mom. My dad married into the family. Jing nodded, thinking, it's all grandmas and great-grandmas around here. Jing rubbed his chin, chuckling. So, you're gonna pull a prince reclaiming his throne thing? Scorpion's face soured. He was amazing at making puppets so real you couldn't tell them apart from the real deal. In Lulan's royal family, only women can talk to the dragon veins, generation after generation. It's called the royal vein. I don't have the right to rule Lulan. Scorpion just wanted to find his dad's hometown and turn some people into puppets. He wanted to get back at Tsukumo as soon as possible, but the fighting outside was too intense, so he figured, here, he could get his own people to help him get his revenge. Jing, you're after the dragon vein, right? Forget it. Lulan's been around forever. Everyone knows the dragon vein is here. But nobody can take the dragon vein's power. The best they can do is seal it. Jing smirked. What the others couldn't do, I might be able to. Scorpion almost flinched at Jing's self-assurance. Then he remembered his father's words, "I'm waiting to see your helpless appearance, star. You said the royal vein went against the rules. What did you mean?" Scorpion looked at the scroll. The Lulan royal family isn't supposed to use the dragon vein's power. They're just supposed to guard it. It's an insane amount of earth energy. You mess with it, it could wipe out the whole place. It shouldn't be used lightly. I mean, you can see. How else would they have built these things? Scorpion sneered. Looks like even my sister, who my dad always said was so strong, couldn't resist power. They were standing at the top of a tall tower, looking out over the whole city. "Yeah, you sure remember what your dad said pretty well. They're important to me. I don't have to hide it," Scorpion said coldly. "So. I am gonna kill Tsukumo. Jing, you're a Konoha ninja. If you wanna stop me, do it now." Jing sat back, hands on his knees, smiling casually. "Chill. I never said I'd stop you from getting revenge. Revenge for your parents is natural. Just a heads up. If you manage to take out Tsukumo, remember to get Kakashi, too. It'd be too boring just waiting for you guys to fight each other. Hatred should always end when the bloodline ends. I remember that you are Kakashi's senior brother. Is Konoha so messy? Scorpion's tense muscles loosened a bit at that. Being around this guy was intense. It felt like all his secrets were out in the open under those eyes. Tsukumo wasn't officially a rogue ninja. Last he heard, the documents just said he was a wandering ninja. Scorpion was afraid Jing would try to talk him out of revenge, say he should let go of the hate. "So, what now? We just waltz in on the Queen of Lulan." Jing's senses spread out, picking up on people chatting about parties back home. "Looks like, timing's perfect. About 2 weeks ago, something happened in Konoha. Ichiraka Ramen opened. That's a key moment. In the original timeline, Minato would get a mission to check out the ancient kingdom of Lulan, ultimately sealing the dragon vein. Around that time, Minato would run into future Naruto. The dragon veins can travel through time and space. He told Minato in advance that he didn't need to come after receiving the mission from the Wind Country. Jing would time it and get here early. This was huge, because whether Naruto showed up, and what kind of Naruto showed up, would tell Jing, was this world the ninja world he knew? If it was, did he change the future? If not, then he had even more to think about. Time travel was complicated. It was possible that his and Sukuna's arrival had completely thrown the timeline off. The world had changed since he showed up. Honestly, Jing didn't want any time travelers showing up. The future was uncertain. Only you can be sure, if the future was set in stone, this world would be pretty boring. Hold on. The celebration's about to start. Jing had a strange smile on his face. With Jing and Scorpion's skills, the puppets patrolling the city wouldn't be able to spot them. That night, Scorpion watched Jing pull out his lunchbox and couldn't help himself. "Jing, you're so strong, but you still need to eat and sleep like a normal person. Don't you think that's kind of a waste?" "Why not? I don't like being bothered when I'm eating." Jing said flatly, "Eating and sleeping are my only hobbies. Please don't take away what makes me human. I don't make fun of your crude puppet body, so don't you come criticizing me." They waited until dawn on the third day. People spilled out of their houses and started the party. If you looked closely, they were all puppets. Scorpion's eyes narrowed. I knew something was up. Even if Lulan had a puppet master, they couldn't keep that many puppets patrolling. Now even the people are. Looks like the Queen of Lulan teamed up with a puppeteer. This puppet work is terrible. Puppet masters are normal when they look down on each other. Especially Scorpion, who's a genius talented enough to turn himself into a puppet. Jing kept his senses sharp, and his mood was all over the place, at least for now. He didn't sense the Ninetales Jinchuriki. Jing would have noticed Naruto if he was around. The party kept going. Puppets banged drums and cheered. A girl with crimson hair walked toward the tower terrace, surrounded by a crowd. She was right across from them. Here we go. According to the original timeline, Naruto would save the Queen of Lulan, who fell from the tower. Time went on, and Jing got more and more anxious. No, still nothing. The future's been changed. This must be an independent world. Crack. The tower terrace broke open, and the girl screamed as she fell, 10 meters, 20 meters, just before she hit the ground, whoosh. A kunai flew out and pinned the queen's clothes less than 10 feet from the ground. This woman can't die right now. Scorpion, who was waiting for Jing's orders, looked up and saw a pair of Sharingan from the side. Jing couldn't hide his excitement, he was laughing like he owned the world. Scorpion, do you know? A messed up future is what I wanted. You witnessed the fate of the whole world. Chapter 57 Red Lotus Hell. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I really started messing with the timeline when Tsukumo Hatake didn't die, without getting into all the other factors. The reason Scorpion of the Red Sand is hunting for the ancient kingdom of Lulan right now has gotta be because of that, the simultaneous attack on Konoha by 3 nations that shouldn't even exist. Butterfly effect, all his fault. What he was really afraid of was Naruto showing up again and history getting rewritten. Maybe, ever since Tsukumo Hatake left that time, this place has been off the rails. Finally, no more crazy time travel. No more timeline headaches. History starts with me. Seeing Kagami, Uchiha and Sasori pop up out of nowhere, Sarah was a little spooked. Gotta say, both of them were total lookers, which helped her calm down quick. Thank you for saving me. I'm Sarah, queen of this country, and I will repay you. Jing Uchiha vaguely remembered Naruto saving this woman by scooping her up like a princess, only to get slapped a few times. May I have your name? Looking at that cold face in the fading sunlight, dangerous but, damn. I don't have time for some cheesy soap opera. Xie, keep an eye on your cousin. Make sure she doesn't die. The queen can unlock the dragon vein seal, so it would be sweet if that saved us some trouble, like you're not even trying to hide it. Their sudden arrival drew in tons of puppets, a faint blue-purple glow seeping from the cracks between them. That's the power of the dragon vein. To Jing Uchiha, this power felt heavy and pure, raw natural energy, off the charts. Jing Uchiha looked up at the tower, where a bearded dude was staring down in disbelief. Scorpion, Lord Scorpion. And Lushan, real name Baizu, was a rogue ninja from the Sand Village. He was also Scorpion's former apprentice. That voice. Centipede? Is that you? Scorpion frowned. How'd you get so old? Because he's from 20 years in the future, Jing Uchiha said casually, raising a hand. Don't waste my time. Just die already. Screech, a flurry of slashing attacks erupted, tearing the approaching puppets to shreds. Within a radius of 600 feet, debris flew everywhere. Swish. One slash, and Centipede was cut in half. What are you doing? And Lushan is my regent. Sarah was totally lost and screamed in terror. Jing Uchiha flew up until he was eye level with the bisected centipede and pointed a finger. Boom. A massive burst of blue-purple chakra erupted from Centipede's severed body, actually blocking Kagami Uchiha's slashing attack. Who are you? Click, click, click. Centipede's body reorganized and swelled like a balloon, revealing a brown clay puppet shell. It grew bigger and bigger, becoming a human-like torso on top of a giant centipede body, hundreds of yards long. Boom, boom, boom. The tower couldn't handle the weight and crumbled. Scorpion snatched Sarah with a chakra thread and flew away. What the heck is going on? Sarah's panicked scream got on Scorpion's nerves. He wasn't one for sympathy, even if she was his cousin. Click. Too lazy to explain, Scorpion stuffed a piece of puppet into Sarah's mouth to shut her up. Frowning, he eyed the giant puppet Centipede had become. Baizu's puppetry skills were nothing special, as far as Scorpion was concerned, but now, the amount of chakra he was packing was more than his own. Dragon vein, so you can use it like that? He glanced at Sarah. Even Jing Uchiha can't touch the dragon vein, so can I use this woman and use the power of the dragon vein? Must be possible. If Centipede can do it, how could I not be able to? Only, all this hinges on Jing Uchiha striking out. Whoever you are, you're no match for me. Scorpion. See this? This is my immortal body. I'm better than you now. The blue-purple chakra exploded, even creating thunder. Jing Uchiha stood among the tower ruins, watching him with indifference. Punk! Go to hell! Dragon Vein Fireball, boom! A huge burst of blue-purple flame shot from the giant puppet's mouth. Kagami Uchiha didn't even flinch, simply cutting the flames in half with an invisible slash. Not done yet. Super Dragon Pulse Fireball. Even bigger blue-purple flames roared from the muzzle on Centipede's chest, using the great fireball on Uchiha. What a genius! The power of the dragon vein is definitely impressive. The flames seemed to avoid Jing Uchiha, rushing past him and backward, blotting out the sky. The blue-purple light danced across his face, adding a touch of sinister beauty. But you're way too loud. I don't need a product demonstration. Jing Uchiha raised his hand, and a blue chakra ball formed in front of his fingertips, spinning fast and wild. First, the Rasengan, Swa, a layer of flames coated the Rasengan, tumultuous. The fireball suddenly swelled to a diameter of 6 feet, radiating insane heat. A cold smile touched his lips. Using fire style on an Uchiha. I'll show you how it's done. What is real fire? Hot as hellfire, unforgiving in its light, it looked like it could burn everything to ash. The flames warped space and time, like a sun, gazing down on earth with cold, merciless judgment. Inner realm, Sukuna was half in, half out, with the sealed spear jammed through his chest. He watched the flame. He'd never denied Kagami Uchiha's talent, but he still thought of him as just some punk stealing his power. He also holds the power of fire. Dan peel and decook are the steps for processing ingredients, and the fire turned on by the stove is used for cooking. He was born to devour humans. Unlike his extremely dark attributes, his fire is active. It is like having life, burning everything it touches, from the body to the soul. He thought, Uchiha Kagami will also steal this power, but his fire, completely different. The essence of fire is burning, emitting light and heat, and is an important part of civilization and even life. The flame of Uchiha Kagami gave him a feeling, cold sun, only murderous intent, no love for anything in this world. For some reason, this name came to Sukuna's mind. Mirror Uchiha had no expression as he pushed his fingertips forward. Combining earth style and fire style creates a bloodline trait called lava style, extremely powerful. Kagami Uchiha had dissected the Four Tails chakra and understood the general principle. He didn't fully go down the lava release path, but only adopted the fusion technique. Swa, deep red, alluring flames slowly rose and danced on the stabilized fireball, like a crimson Lotus. Beautiful, in a twisted way, seemed slow but actually moved fast as the fireball fell. Time and space seemed to stand still. Scorpion dragged Sarah away in a desperate retreat, muttering, "Damn it, Uchiha. You start fighting and don't care about anyone else, that kind of thing." That kind of thing. Scorpion knew for sure that staying here meant certain death. Sound was muffled, movement was sluggish. Baizu stared at the wickedly gorgeous flame falling toward him, and a ridiculous thought popped into his head. Am I worthy of such an amazing death? Exit. Flame release, Song of Crimson Hell. The scarlet fire blazed, and everything was reduced to ashes. Chapter 59, Earthquake. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The city of 1,000 towers started crumbling. The town had been built on the power of dragon veins. Scorpion's eyes widened in horror, his whole world view shattered. How could this be? Someone could actually channel the power of a dragon vein. And it looked so easy. The Earth's life force just flowed into the kid like water down a drain, without a trace of resistance. Scorpion thought he saw something impossible, a dragon coiled in a sea of blood. Meanwhile, far away in the land of demons, the witches had been guarding a monster called Wangliang for generations. The monster fed on the evil in people's hearts. Inside the palace, the witch Mithraea sat in meditation. Suddenly, she shuddered as a surge of evil thoughts flooded her mind. An illusory demon roared in her head. Priestess. You feel it, don't you? The earth's suppression is gone. Ha 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 ha. You can't hold me back anymore. I'll break free soon. This world is mine. I'll destroy everything and build my own kingdom. Elsewhere, in Grass Ninja Village, the Ghost Lantern City was a prison built by Kusagakure and other nations to hold ninja criminals. In a hidden chamber, a mysterious black box sat with 4 faces. joy, anger, sorrow, and happiness. On its sides, it was the Box of Bliss, a legendary weapon from the Sage of Six Paths era. Legend had it that, with enough negative energy, anyone who opened it could have a wish granted. Back in the day, Kusagakure village almost conquered the world with it, unseen by anyone. The box emitted an eerie black light. Events like these were unfolding all over the ninja world. The evil beasts that had been sealed away for years were starting to stir. High above, on the moon, millennia ago, after Hagoromo and Hamura sealed Kaguya, Hagoromo stayed behind to found the ninja clan, becoming the Sage of Six Paths. Hamura and his clan went to the moon with their mother, both as atonement and as guards. Inside a magnificent palace, a pale-skinned, blue-haired man held a baby. His pure white eyes gazed at the blue planet below, and his brow furrowed. What's happening in the ninja world? Years ago, a spirit stole the outer path golem. And now, the world that the Sage of Six Paths created is becoming tainted. Between realms, in the gap between reincarnations, the Sage of Six Paths opened his eyes. His light purple eyes held infinite power. The Rinnegan, for thousands of years, he'd existed as chakra, guarding the pure land and watching over the ninja world. Recently, Uchiha Madara had awakened the Rinnegan and summoned the outer path statue, but the sage had held back from interfering. Now, something just as big was happening. The dragon veins were supposed to protect the earth. Countless evil creatures had been sealed away over the centuries, by the ninja clans and families like the Uzumaki. The dragon veins were vital to those seals. Uchiha Kagami. The sage murmured. He couldn't understand how the kid had pulled this off. Should he stop him now and make him give the dragon vein back? This time, he hesitated. Gamamaru's prophesied child hadn't appeared yet. If he interfered in the affairs of the ninja world, the blue-eyed boy who would play with the tailed beasts, teach them about their power, and change the world, he sighed. The sage decided to trust the prophecy. Someone would show him the right path. Back in the ruined kingdom of Lulan, the survivors wept and wailed among the rubble. Ignoring them, Uchiha Kagami jumped off the broken ceiling platform. Taking the dragon vein had caused some kind of reaction, judging by the roar in the shadows. When he'd grabbed it, the dragon vein was obviously important, and the legendary consequences were not out of the realm of possibility. But Uchiha Kagami wasn't about to return something he'd just gotten his hands on just because it might be dangerous. Seeing that the cracks in the ground weren't spreading, Scorpion let out a sigh of relief. Uchiha Kagami, you actually did it. Kagami clapped Scorpion on the shoulder and grinned. Don't be so shocked. It's just basic stuff. Scorpion, I think you're pretty interesting. Want to work for me? Scorpion paused, then shook his head. I'm impressed by your strength and guts. But I'm out for revenge, and I need to do this alone. Too bad. I doubt you'll ever beat Hatake Sakumo. Kagami hadn't been serious about the offer anyway. Okay, I'm out of here. You should clean up and get going too. This place feels like it's about to collapse. Scorpion clenched his fist hidden in his sleeve. He'd made the right call. He was already a puppet, and he didn't want to die of a heart attack any time soon. Uchiha Kagami summoned a giant eagle, and the wind whipped around him, ruffling his long hair. The dragon vein had incredible energy, but he couldn't use it right away. The best way to use natural energy was Sage Mode, but Kagami had another idea. He didn't want to absorb the dragon vein to learn Sage Mode. He didn't need to learn from those animals. He could do it with the Sharingan. His scarlet eyes pierced through the clouds and looked towards the horizon. The Third Ninja World War. It was time to reach the top. Chapter 60 Kaleidoscope. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jing, you're back. The ninjas in the camp saluted him respectfully. After years of war, he'd been promoted to deputy commander of the northern battlefield. The higher-ups gave him this temporary position because of his reputation. Plus, his squad consisted of ninja clans like Inoshikacho and Inazuka, while his own people were deployed to the Eastern Front. About 6 months ago, Kirigakure officially joined the war, hoping to grab a piece of Konoha. The 7 ninja swordsmen started making a name for themselves, becoming a feared special forces unit. Konoha was fighting on 4 fronts, with the north and west being the toughest. Iwagakure and Kumogakure were strong. Even without considering the number of top-tier warriors, the combined forces of the two villages were equal to Konoha's. This led Danzo to curse Uchiha Kagami at the Konoha Four Gods meeting for ignoring the big picture and killing the Eight-Tails Jinchuriki. Too bad for Danzo that Jing couldn't hear him, or the old man would have been done for. Danzo was usually hiding, but ever since Uchiha Kagami became famous, he sent people to look for him, but they couldn't find him. He was like a rat in the gutter, so disgusting. Jing had just sat down in his tent when he heard hurried footsteps outside. Master Kagami, Master Jiraiya needs you ASAP. It's urgent. Did Mangekyo attack? When Uchiha Jing entered the commander's tent, a heavy atmosphere filled the air. He glanced at the people inside. Jiraiya, Uchiha Fugaku, Noara Rin, and Kakashi. Kakashi stood there, looking defeated, just like his father back then. Jing looked at Fugaku, then said, "Why are you here?" "We'll get to that later." Jiraiya said gravely, "Mirror. Obito is gone." Uchiha Kagami's expression didn't change. He noticed Obito's absence as soon as he walked in. He looked closer at Kakashi, seeing that his eyes were fine, but a large part of his chest was bandaged. So, Obito giving his eyes to Kakashi was just a coincidence, not Madara's plan. If things played out exactly as before, Jing would have been surprised. He stepped forward and faced Kakashi. Those eyes held death, and Kakashi slowly looked up. "Kami. Obito's dead." "I heard you. You don't need to repeat yourself." Uchiha Jing looked at Kakashi coldly. "So?" Kakashi was silent for a long time before he choked out the words. "Where were you?" Minato didn't respond. I almost saved him." Tears streamed down Kakashi's mask, falling to the ground. He'd been silent, not eating or drinking for days. Seeing Jing, he finally broke down. Smack. A loud slap echoed in the tent, and Kakashi fell. "Jing! What are you doing?" Uchiha Kagami ignored Jiraiya and stepped on Kakashi's chest, looking down at him with cold eyes. "You think Minato and I have to revolve around you? You think you deserve our protection all the time? You're always almost there in practice, but you mess up at the crucial moment." Uchiha Jing leaned down, grabbed Kakashi's collar, and stared into his eyes. "Always relying on others, always wishing I was there, or Minato was there. Why? What kind of teammate are you? You're just dead weight. People like you who give up on themselves are the real failures." Uchiha Jing pointed outside. "This is war, a life-or-death struggle. While I'm talking to you, some Konoha ninja might be dying. Obito wasn't special, and neither are you, or even me. If you want to cry, go somewhere else. I don't care about your whining." Boom! Uchiha Kagami kicked Kakashi away, and Noara Rin quickly went after him. "Jing, your motivation is a little harsh." Jiraiya sighed. He felt bad for his student, but he didn't want Kakashi to fall into despair, so he didn't stop Uchiha Kagami. Uchiha Jing turned to him calmly. "You misunderstand. This isn't therapy. I just wanted to yell at him." Sure, a sharp tongue but a soft heart. Honestly, if Obito wasn't Kakashi's best friend, Jiraiya wouldn't have cared about some random kid. He quickly changed the subject to Uchiha Fugaku. "While you were away, Mangekyo attacked several times. There hasn't been much action on the Iwagakure front, so Fugaku will take your place." Uchiha Jing raised an eyebrow, smiling. "Oh. So, I guess the current deputy commander is also the head of the Fugaku clan." Fugaku's face remained expressionless. "This is the Hokage's order. Jing, you've worked hard. Go back and rest." Uchiha Jing narrowed his eyes, smiling even more. "Don't overthink it. The old man really wants you to rest and come back later. Minato and Kushina are still on vacation. I'm guessing you haven't rested since you got back." Jiraiya patted Uchiha Kagami's shoulder, forcing a smile. "You're still young, take it easy. Training is about balance." "I'll handle it, Jiraiya." "Sensei." Uchiha Jing turned and walked out, looking back at Fugaku with a faint smile. Come on, Chief Fugaku, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you, too. Fugaku followed, watching them leave. Jiraiya had a bad feeling, but, this was an Uchiha issue, he shouldn't interfere. Jiraiya knew what Sarutobi Hiruzen was thinking, but he really wanted Uchiha Kagami to stay away from the battlefield. Jing was too young to be exposed to war for too long. Even if Jing was strong, he could still break down like Kakashi, after all, even Tsunade. Uchiha Jing walked far enough that he could barely see the camp. Fugaku followed silently, stopping in front of a large tree. Uchiha Kagami looked at Fugaku, chuckling. Even after gaining the Mangekyo Sharingan, you still choose Sarutobi Hiruzen. Fugaku's expression changed, then calmed. Jing, your power is impressive. I noticed. 3 Tomo appeared in Fugaku's eyes, slowly spinning into a 3-pointed shuriken. I wish you hadn't awakened this cursed power. Kami, I've seen the future. If the Uchiha rebel, it won't end well. Compromise, at least until we have enough power. Uchiha Kagami crossed his arms, unfazed by Fugaku's Mangekyo. Just a guess based on your limited knowledge. The future is uncertain. I only know. The future of the Uchiha is in my hands. Alright, Fugaku. Uchiha Jing waved his hand. Go all out. Just don't die too easily.